Let's build a YouTube campaign for leads and sales. Timestamps below, along with some other helpful links and resources, including a link to our YouTube ads playbook that has all of our recommended campaign settings, as well as some other campaign ideas, and of course, ad formulas. So let's go ahead, jump right in. Ads.google.com if you haven't already created a ads account. If you already have one, here's the timestamp to jump straight into building out your campaign. Now on ads.google.com or ads.google.com, go ahead and click sign in or start a new account. It doesn't really matter the email that you use. You can always switch access later. And then you're going to come to a page that looks something like this. And this is going to be an attempt by Google to try and handhold your process setting up your account. You don't want to do that. You have YouTube University of more than enough information, and you want a lot more control than what they're about to give you. So go ahead and click on switch to expert mode on the bottom, or whatever the link says at this point, because they're always testing. And once you get to a page that looks something like this, you're going to be all set and good to go. Now, if you already have a Google Ads account, we'll go and click on the blue plus button and click on create new campaign from your campaigns or your overview tab. Once you do, you'll be at the exact same page and we're all good to go. So we're going to click on create a campaign without goals or guidance. Then we're going to click video ad and we are going to leave it at custom. As a general rule of thumb, always select custom and don't let Google make decisions for you. We'll go ahead and click on continue and then of course give our campaign a name. And I'll just name it the video code of this particular tutorial. Say we're going to be generating leads and say that it's in-stream. That way I know what a quick overview of what the campaign is and what it's trying to accomplish. For our bidding strategy, we'll leave it at cost per view. And so with in-stream ads, you're going to pay after someone watches 30 seconds or if they click. And so that's what we'll leave it at. For budget and dates here, we're going to go ahead and do daily and we'll start at $250 a day. You can always increase this later, and I do recommend going through this process a couple of times, set up a couple of different campaigns just to see what works best. Then we'll go ahead and select our end dates. So our start date, I'm going to go ahead and start this on the next Monday. Of course, this is in the past because this video was pre-recorded. And then we'll go ahead and set it to run for 2 weeks. And the reason that you want to set an end date is simply Google will keep spending your money until you turn it off. So let's just have a little bit of insurance so that we don't accidentally spend more than we wanted. You can always come back and remove the date later. For our networks, we'll go ahead and uncheck display network because we only want to show up on YouTube itself. We don't want to show up on random websites. Then for our locations, you can go ahead and just choose United States or Canada or enter individual locations. You'll see that Google has pulled in some locations from some other campaigns. And when it specifically comes to leads and sales, just choose up to 5 countries that you're actually that people actually buy from you. So just because you have a lot of countries that you might target with your content or other parts, because we're doing lead generations and sales, especially if you're shipping, make sure that you're choosing the right countries. So no more than 5, and all the countries, of course, should have the same primary language. So if you're targeting multiple languages, make sure you have a grouping of your campaigns for each one of those languages. So then we'll go ahead and leave languages alone because our keywords are actually going to be in English or whatever language you choose, and we'll get to that. Then for inventory type, go ahead and select expanded. This is going to allow you to run on ads that big advertisers are scared of. Then we'll go ahead and click on excluded labels and types, and you'll see we're already by default excluding embedded YouTube videos, live streams, and then games is becoming inactive. I do recommend unchecking content not yet labeled. This is just another opportunity for you to show up on videos that big corporations are scared of because they have this brand equity thing and they don't want another hit piece written about them, their ad showing up on a controversial video. For us though, we're just trying to get leads and sales. We don't care what our prospects are watching, right? So might as well pay a little bit less. Then related videos, because you're generating leads and sales, you don't want to do this. You want people making one action on your video, and that is clicking over to your website to buy or join your email list. Then for additional settings, you'll see we have devices here. You do want to uncheck, so we're going to click on specific. TV screens. We don't want to show up on TVs. Computers, mobile phones, tablets, awesome. TVs, not so much, obviously, because someone's just chilling, they're on their couch, they're watching their TV, they're not in the mood to buy something, and not all the TV apps have the ability to send the information to their phone. although they're getting pretty good at it, but you don't want to take that risk. So then we come to frequency capping, ad schedule, third-party measurement. Go ahead and leave all of these alone. The only time you'd add an ad schedule is if you're physically picking up the phone and you don't want people coming to your website when you can't pick up the phone, right? Or give them a call back within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So go ahead and leave that alone for now. And then we'll go ahead and skip ad group creation. We'll recreate our ad in a moment. So I'll go ahead and click on create ad group here. So I'll go ahead and skip ad group, create our campaign. It'll give us a quick little summary, continue to campaign. And with that, our campaign is all set up and ready to go. Well, not really, because we have no ad groups and we have no ads. So here's a diagram of the campaign that we are about to set up. So at the very top, the campaign level, we've just set our placements, our languages, and of course the locations that we want to run our ads in. And now we are at the ad group level. And so this is going to be where we're going to set up something called custom intent audiences, which we'll get to in a moment. So let's go ahead, jump back into the interface here. So you'll see that we have all campaigns at the top, and then we have the name of our campaign. So that's how we know which campaign we're about to edit. So we'll click the blue plus button again. We're in ad groups, and this will allow us to create our first ad group. Now, in this particular instance, I'm going to leave it blank because I recommend name your ad group after whatever your targeting is. So you have a lot of options here, and most of them you don't want to use. So under demographics, the only thing I recommend you uncheck is 18 to 24 when you're driving leads. Leave everything else alone, because YouTube and Google will collect this data for you. If you find that one of these demographics works better for you in the future, then go ahead and make a campaign for it. But no sense in spending more money now trying to get your perfect ideal customer dialed in when there's so many other things that we could be testing that isn't going to cost us more money. Because the more things we uncheck here, the more expensive our ads are going to be. So we'll go ahead and leave everything else alone. You have keywords, topics, placements. Those are great for running ads when you're trying to grow your YouTube channel. When we want leads and sales, we'll go ahead and click on audiences. We'll click on browse. And I recommend in-market life events as your second campaign option. But here we're actually going to create our own custom audience based upon keywords and past actions people have taken. This is working really well right now. So we'll go ahead and click on your custom audience segments. And you'll see here that I already have a couple. Yours will of course be blank. So we'll go ahead and click on create custom segment. And of course we'll give our segment a name. And now it's time to talk about what the heck these segments are. So I'll jump over to our YouTube ads playbook here. Again, link in the description to grab a copy of this. And I'm going to go ahead and copy the name, and then I'll go ahead and copy our keywords. Now, what this is doing is this is telling Google, hey, I want you to find people who, based upon these keywords, are interested in this topic or interested in making a purchase around this topic. So let's say, for example, we're promoting some sort of Facebook ads course or webinar. So we type in a couple of Facebook ads keywords. And where do you get these keywords? All you have to do is head over to YouTube, do this in private browsing mode, ideally with a VPN if you're in a different country that you're targeting, and then just go ahead and type in the keyword that represents a really broad representation of whatever your product, service, or content category is. In this particular instance, Facebook ads. So I type in Facebook ads, and then all of these would be keywords that I would use for this audience. So all we did is we came over here and we copied Facebook ads, strategy, course for beginners, tutorial, manager, all the way down the list, of course, things that made sense for our particular offer, and then pasted them in here. You'll see some documentation that says you should have 30 to 50 keywords. You don't need that many, especially when you're just doing YouTube. For other things, sure, that many keywords can help. But when it comes to YouTube, this is what people are actively searching on YouTube. And so we're running ads on YouTube, and we want to use keywords that represent the audience that we're after. So we're essentially targeting all the people who are interested in these keywords. So we'll go ahead and leave it people with any interest or purchase intentions. And then when you create your second ad group in the future, all you do is you do this exact same process, and then you'd click this, search for instead. And those would be your two ad groups for this first campaign. Going back to our diagram, you see that we have one ad group that we're creating right now with interest and intentions, and the second ad group that you'd create after watching this video, you would choose terms. And so coming back to the Google Ads interface here, we'll go ahead and click on save, and then we'd go ahead and select that. Since I already have it, I'll go ahead and click this. Now, something that's very important, only have one targeting option here. No matter what type of targeting you want, you should only have one here. Long story short, the reporting inside of Google Ads, it leaves some stuff to be desired. And so if you have more than one targeting option here, you're not gonna know which one's working. So that's the quickest way to say it. And then of course, for our bid, since we're doing in-stream ads in the States and Canada, we'll go and start it at 20 cents. So 10 to 30 cents is about where you'd want to start. I like starting at 20 and then going from there. And then we'll go ahead and click on skip ad creation, skip. And when we click save ad group, it's going to ask us if we want to make a skippable in-stream ad or in-feed ad. So in-stream ads, these are the ones that show up before video and people can skip after 5 seconds. That's what you want for leads and sales. So that's what we're going to select here. No, you can't undo this decision. So we'll go ahead and click on save format. Oh, forgot to give our ad group a name here. There we go. So I just named it the exact same thing the audience is named. So it's really easy for us to analyze in the future. And we'll go ahead and save our ad group. And of course, going back to our diagram here, we've created our first ad group. You'd go through this process over again. The only difference is you check search terms instead of leaving it as intentions. And now it's time to come down to the final step, which is creating our ads. So link in the cards and the description to a much deeper dive video that goes through all different types of other targeting options, as well as a copy of our playbook to help you with this process and of course stay organized as you research other campaign types. So inside of our playbook here, I'm just going to come down to our ad information. And of course, I'll explain how the heck to set up an ad. So we'll go ahead and click on Facebook ads intentions. So inside of our ad group here. And now that we're inside of our ad group, we can go ahead and create our ad. So we can go ahead and click the blue plus button. And then we will need to drop in the URL of our video. So I copied the wrong thing here. So just go ahead and drop in the URL of your video. And this should be a 60 to 120 second video. Link in the cards in the description to our YouTube ads playbook that actually goes through a formula you can use to create this particular video. And of course, you're going to want to upload this as unlisted. And we'll go ahead and drop in our final URL here. Make sure you don't have your HTTPS. And then we need, of course, to drop in our display URL. Now for your display URL, it does have to be the same domain. So you can see here, it says acmarketing.systemi.io. And that's because I'm using a third-party page builder and I haven't set up a custom domain. So I can't say acmarketing.io because that's not the actual domain that the traffic is being sent to. So just keep that in mind if you're using a third-party page builder and you haven't set up a custom domain. Of course, we're going to want a call to action. There's a drop-down list here. We'll just go ahead and click on Start Now. And then for our headline, I'll go ahead and drop this in, copy our headline, and keep your headline just really plain and descriptive because we only have 15 characters. There's not a whole lot we could do here. And you also have the option of uploading a custom image. This doesn't actually cost anything. And we'll skip that for now. And I'll go ahead and grab the name of my ad. And I'm going back and forth between our playbook. This just helps you stay organized. And I listed out all this information before recording so you didn't go through watching me try to find the information. And so, of course, you can also click through to see how the ad's going to look differently on mobile, desktop, or TV, which we're skipping. And of course, this box right here is what your custom image would be if you uploaded one. Otherwise, Google will just make one for you. And with that, we have our ad. So auto generate, we'll click on save. And just like that, we have our ad, it's ready to go. If you wanted to create another one, you could click the plus button again. You can always select your ad and you can actually copy it to other ad groups. So you can copy paste. So I'll come back up to our main campaign here that we just created. We have our one ad group. Jumping back into our diagram, we created that first ad group. So you'd go ahead and create your second ad group. And then I'll link up in the description to our YouTube ads playbook, along with a much deeper dive YouTube ads tutorial to help you come up with other types of campaigns to test. But this is definitely the first one you want to set up if you're trying to drive traffic, leads, sales off of YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you have a much clearer picture on how to quickly set up your first campaign. Hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing guides just like this one. And until the next, keep building the business you love.